So now, what does this all mean for living materials? And living materials offer an opportunity for New South Wales to become a hub and an accelerant for this amazing, emerging, and future-ready industry. We can start building the way nature does. This is a quote from Synthetic Biology Australia about how critical this sector, not just the materials, but engineered materials in general, are going to be for Australia's future. These are some of the examples from Prometheus, from Ecovative. The Lululemon bag is actually made from mycelium leather. We've got shoes, we've got bacon made out of mycelium. These guys use algae, and Australia is the global capital for algae. When you ask who is leading, everybody around the world looks to Australia for our algae potential. So how amazing is that, given also how many dormant algae facilities we have from biofuel days that we might actually be able to reinvigorate rather than have these kind of obsolete assets that are no longer returning on taxpayer investment. So the opportunity to reimagine the future of living materials is driven by a few global trends and shifts, and some of them are a little bit more local. So of course, a surge in R&D, and actually defense, not surprisingly, is leading a lot of that. So here we have the Navy Research Laboratory. US Navy has a major presence, and in fact, I'm sharing a panel with them in a bit. DARPA is another US military agency that's been investing a lot. I'm keen to hear what you see from the standpoint of the role of the defense in investing in this, as well as other governments. Budgets for capital improvements in New South Wales have over the past years been quite significant, so we can do more with those dollars than just generate the good old, right? Can we use them to actually reimagine where we go? They need to reinvent manufacturing off its burning platform in Australia. They need to strengthen Australian exports. The opportunity to actually meet the public demand for these solutions, and not just for the tinkering, but actually saying, yes, we're fundamentally starting to put materials in your schools and in your hospitals that are not going to make you sick, that are going to get stronger with time, not weaker, and all of these embodied carbon and other benefits. So a few more examples, including mycelium. There is a patent in the US with Alconworks Labs that actually allows them to grow and extrude from mycelium structural elements. So if up until now it's all been in a not structural, the finish world, these guys will be able to start replacing and substituting concrete, steel, and 2x4s. So how absolutely amazing is that? Gypsum and furniture, this beautiful kind of furniture, this is mycelium based as well. That is bacteria based out of Germany. So to reimagine the future of living materials means building the way nature does. We know what makes a glowworm glow. We know what makes a tree repair itself. We know what makes a leaf know when to drop off on a deciduous tree. And we also know that if something gets hurt in nature, because that's sometimes people's issue with living material. Well, if it's actually living, will it grow into something scary, right? We'll watch a lot of scary movies, but if you cut your finger, it's not gonna grow an ear, right? Even though the DNA embedded in your every single cell has all of that information. So we know all of that. And we have ability to produce both once living, meaning deactivated, and many of the examples I've shown you are deactivated before sale and use, or opportunities to start reactivating. So if in fact that retaining wall got damaged in a flood, reactivate, let it rebuild itself, become stronger than it was ever before. So benefits for education, for health and well-being, no harmful chemicals, upfront cost is sane, studies have been done on that. End of life, of course, exceptional, fully compostable. And looking at, of course, carbon capture, transport impacts. One of the reasons that a lot of defense money has gone into this is because if they have a base in Darwin, or if they have a base in another hard-to-reach place, trying to haul materials there gets really complicated. One of the panelists I'm presenting with in Germany a little bit is also looking at space, like NASA-type investments, right? Because again, if you can grow something in space, a lot easier than trying to get it from Earth up there for repairs, for upgrades and expansions on something like the International Space Station. So these are some of the obstacles that I shared in the article that was in the pre-reading. to the uptake of living materials now. Awareness, of course, right? Stigma, I mentioned a couple of examples. Product scale. Of course, living things take time to grow. So it might take a minute to get to a full-grown building or a full-grown, couch or seat or a table this size. And that is one of the challenges, because we don't necessarily want to have some runaway crazy genetic growth, but at the same time to meet market demand. This is one of the things that many of the creators I speak with need support, investment, R&D, and trial to see what do we do with that limit to quick scaling. And of course, commercialization, which is what we will talk about here quite a bit. So this is the conference that I'm attending, helping deliver in Germany in just a couple of weeks' time. So for some reason, the dates work for any of you, please join. It will be terrific to look at that. So in wrapping up, my first question to you. So what opportunities can engineered living materials unlock for New South Wales?